Good evening, everyone. This is delicious. Don Juan, the Texas treat, and you are listening to the Countdown City WrestleCast.
What's up, heels and baby faces? Welcome again to the Countdown City WrestleCast, and I am your host, Tommy. Of course, with me is JC.
Hey, everybody.
And also, we got Mike.
I'm Mike, and I need a new catchphrase. F that old one. Never say that again.
Yeah, hey, you know what? There's no more perfect way to start this. Our Twitter account, of course, is CCG_WrestleCast. Also, subscribe here to the Countdown City Geeks YouTube channel. And, you know, yeah, I'll tell you. And, you know, your boy's in the driver's seat. You know what we're going to talk about. It's Wrestle Kingdom time. Yes.
Wow, Tommy, how crazy that all your picks are the same as mine.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say
Mine
that.
might end up being like that, too. I'm not sure. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah. But... you know, after the crappy year we've had, the 2 days of Wrestle Kingdom, man, oh my God. I already told my wife I might end up staying up to watch both nights. And she told me, it's like, if I didn't have to work, I'd stay up too.
Wasn't that in the marriage vows? Like, I promised to stay up both nights of Wrestle Kingdom for as long as we
I remember that.
both shall live. That's how I remember it. You know.
Well, yeah, I worked it in. My pastor was like, man, this is a really weird vow, but hey, if you guys are down with it, I guess it's okay.
I mean, if it's blessed by the Lord, you're good to go. That's the way I see it. So,
if God doesn't, I mean, you can't convince me at this point God doesn't bless Wrestle Kingdom. You can't convince me. After the amazing nights we've had, you can't convince me that God doesn't love us.
God's definitely into work rate, so.
Yeah.
I think he's a fan of Gato's booking. I mean, why else has Okada never been injured ever? So it's amazing how much sense that made once I said it.
Yeah.
All right. So hey, let's just jump right into this. Of course, 2 nights of Wrestle Kingdom, like they did previous year, and then WrestleMania kind of copied. But whatever, I'm gonna let that go again.
Not wrong.
But you're sitting not wrong. But kicking things off for the shot at the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship on night 2, we have the winner of the Best of the Super Juniors 2020. The year that kind of didn't exist, Hiromu Takahashi versus the winner of the Super J Cup, El Phantasmo. And this will be Phantasmo's first time back in Japan since the whole pandemic started. So I will start with JC. JC, who you got on this one?
Let me throw it out to mi gente and just say Phantasmo on this one. You mentioned it there, first time back. Let's do it. Let's make a statement on your first foray back into Japan since the pandemic. So give me Phantasmo on this. Yeah.
Okay. Mike, do you want to go or do you want me to just?
Nah, I'll go, and I'm gonna go with a similar train of thought to JC. Stick with the luchador, if you will. I know he's not really, but El Phantasmo.
Yeah, but he's probably very luchador inspired. So
yeah,
actually, for that matter, you could also say
me.
Takahashi because God knows how many years he spent in Mexico before they called him back. Well, I'll go ahead and lone wolf this one. I have a feeling this will be the first time I do this the entire night. I'm going Takahashi only because he seems like he's been on kind of the tear he was on similar time before he got injured with the neck injury, of just kind of proving that he's like the Super Junior, almost like the Jushin Liger of this era in a way, like just the standout Super Junior who just is like just getting the fans into it. But time will tell. El Phantasmo, it could very well be his time. Bullet Club is still a running hot faction at this point, which is amazing the longevity they've had, honestly. But yeah, so that's my pick. All right, moving on. IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. We have the Dangerous Techers of Tai Chi and Zack Sabre Jr. versus God, Tongaloa, and Tama Tonga. Man, I was gonna go first, but this one. Yeah, this is one of the hardest ones I've had to pick on this card because I legitimately want to pick God, but Tai Chi and Sabre, man, have made a believer out of me. They really have. I might have to go Dangerous Tekkers on this one because they really surprised me how well they work together. And I think Taichi's kind of due a big win at Wrestle Kingdom. So yeah, I'm gonna go Dangerous Tekkers. Mike, who you got?
I'm going to go with an interesting new strategy. I'm going to go with the God, Gorillas of Destiny. Pick against Tommy on a few of these and see if that works out.
I'm gonna laugh if you pull a Tez on this. I will hate you so much if you pull a Tez.
I mean, that would be my luck.
Yeah. JC?
This is tough because the Tekkers had quite a run with the titles, and then Tama Tonga Tangaloa decided to shave their facial hair a bit, and they're looking pretty good with it too, man. So they're a little more aerodynamic. But man, gosh. Hey Siri, flip a coin.
Heads.
Heads. Okay, I'll go Dangerous Tekkers.
Yeah, you flip a coin fairly often, but you don't always say what the coin result is.
I just figured heads is the first person mentioned.
Okay.
The second. That's how
Fair
I
enough.
So I'm going with
I was thinking that's what your logic was, but since you never said, I didn't want to just guess that was what you were.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going with on it. So but I feel like there's no wrong answer to this one. I mean, both of them have
really not.
So
for half these matches, there's no wrong answer. I mean, there's a pick wrong answer as far as
I was going to say the wrong answer is going to be the one who loses.
I mean, there's not a bad pick on this. No. I should say, yeah. So
yeah. Okay, so with the next match, I actually have a question for you guys after our picks, but let's get into the match first. The IWGP United States Challenge Rights Certificate with Kenta, the holder, versus Satoshi Kojima. And in case anyone's wondering why it's Satoshi Kojima instead of Juice Robinson like it was originally supposed to be, he got injured with was it orbital bone, I think? I can't remember what the injury was, but so he's out of Wrestle Kingdom, unfortunately. But Satoshi Kojima stepped up to make the challenge. And as much as I would love to see Kojima get one more title run with any belt, I don't care. I just have a feeling it's going to be Kenta, so I'm picking Kenta to retain. JC, what about you?
Kenta. You want to see Moxley Kenta. That's the matchup. Once this shit is over, everyone is waiting for Moxley Kenta. Yeah, I gotta go Kenta. Yeah. So,
Mike.
Okay, it's a briefcase, right? This what he's holding is like a briefcase, like money in the bank. Okay, and I know Japan is going on lockdown again, right? So, they're getting stricter, from what I understand, on their letting people in, right?
Yeah.
In other words, Mox may not be over there for quite a while. So here's my thought. I'm going to go with Kenta, and they're going to pull a women's Money in the Bank. And they're going to say that he wins, he opens a briefcase, and there's the actual title, and he's the champ, and then Mox has to come back eventually to fight for it. Probably not going to happen, but I just thought it'd be interesting.
There is that thought, and actually what you said segued into the question I wanted to ask, because the rumor is that he's already there.
Huh.
There's a rumor that Mox has already been in Japan for the past 2 weeks since the typical travel rule in Japan is anyone coming from out of the country can, but they have to be in 2 weeks isolation before they can move about the country. That was the case with half of the talent for that's why when they did World Tag League and Best of the Super Juniors, all the gaijin who came in there in like November but couldn't go anywhere. They were just in isolation. So the rumor is, even with Moxley when he shot the video for Brodie Lee, the rumor was he's already in Japan and he's been there, and he just can't come out until the 4th.
Excuse me.
So
that would make sense because he really hasn't been seen on TV since he dropped the title to Kenny Omega on AEW. So
And the whole Tony Khan saying he won't be at Wrestle Kingdom was just like kind of like how Jericho's been playing the whole wrestling world ever since. But so if that happens, and I'll pose this question: if that happens, if he shows up at night 1, if he defends at night 2, which I'm thinking might happen, who keeps the title? Does Moxley retain or does Kenta win it?
Whether it's night 2 or New Year's Dash, I think Kenta. He's dropping it to Kenta. I don't see Moxley. Nothing keeping it, but. He's obviously the biggest star in AEW and in the professional wrestling world right now, and he's got a pregnant wife at home. So I think anything that would be tying him to having to make that commitment to Japan, and obviously Kenta's in a similar situation. He's the guy to drop it to.
Yeah.
Left WWE, not kind of his character got kind of bleh. So bring him back, and this is the logical thing. If whether it's night 2 or New Year's Dash, I think Kenta takes the title. Yeah.
Okay.
Then my other call is if
Go ahead.
If Mox is stuck there, then they Dark Knight pull him out like they pulled that guy out of Japan when they had to bring him back over. That's
From Hong Kong
with the big plane and that's how they're gonna get Mox out.
I mean, if Christian Bale shows up, we know that's what's coming. So
if Chris Nolan was booking New Japan, I could absolutely see that happening. Of course, if Chris Nolan was booking New Japan, someone would have a time gimmick, and they would like simultaneously win and lose a match at the exact same time. Yeah. And sorry, I do like the idea of Tenet. I just don't get it all the time.
I haven't seen it yet, so
I haven't seen it yet, but that's only because I don't want to think.
Yes,
so,
that's fair.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think this is still if Kenta should win because do you know I and others still have not forgiven him for last year's Wrestle Kingdom where he screwed up Naito's win so bad. We're still salty about that. It's been a year.
It's been a year, but not a lot has happened in a year, so it feels like it's
so we
still
can
fresh.
hold on to our festering hatred is what we can do.
Yeah.
All right. So next up is one of the few non-title matches on this card, and there aren't many that aren't title matches. Hiroshi Tanahashi versus the Great Okan. I'm going to go first on this one only because I have a personal pick. I want Tanahashi to absolutely wreck Okan's shit because I am so tired of him. I hate him so much. Not because he's a bad performer, but just because he has completely sided with that traitor Will Ospreay, which will kind of feed into my next pick. But so I legitimately can't stand the Empire because of how they were formed. So I guess congratulations, guys, you did your job very well. I legitimately hate you all. So I'm picking Tanahashi. Mike, who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Tanahashi too on this one.
Okay.
It's Wrestle Kingdom. It's Tanahashi.
Yeah.
So I mean,
you said it. Why this is Empire the way it was formed? Now you really want to build them up. At least that's my thought. I'm going with Great Okan. If for nothing else, just to piss off Tommy, that'd be great. So we'll go with that. That might feed into my next pick too. So
actually, you know what? That's fair because their next match is Kazuchika Okada versus Will Ospreay, and I am ride or dying with this one. I legitimately do not care if I'm wrong. I am dead set on being wrong on this one if I have to be. I'm picking Okada. Boom. Whoever wants to go next, I don't care. I'm picking Okada.
Ospreay, put the man over, baby.
Yeah,
put him over
too.
Wrestle Kingdom on January 4th. Ospreay,
Forget both of y'all.
Going. Yeah,
yeah, and it's honestly not to piss you off.
Mine might be. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see,
but Ospreay. I feel like last year should have been the year Ospreay had a decent run. He had made the full commitment to Japan and everything, and then shit happened. So now you kind of hit the reset button on it. Interesting to note that Okada, as of right now, is only booked for one night of Wrestle Kingdom, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But for that one night, let's make a huge impact. Let's give Ospreay that run. You mentioned the formation of Empire. If you want it to be a serious stable, let's take out the big gun, take out the darling, the mascot of New Japan, if you will. So go with Ospreay.
I fully admit that I'm probably wrong, but I have to ride or die with my dudes. And okay, so I don't know if you guys probably didn't see this. They're on New Japan's YouTube channel where they have the post-match interviews. It was during the Road to New Japan shows. They had a 6-man tag team match. And afterwards, they were interviewing Okada, and they lost the match, but they were crawling to the back, and Okada was talking to the camera, and Tanahashi just walked, and he just collapsed on the floor, and instead of talking, he just waved his hand for Okada to keep talking, while he just laid on the floor breathing hard, and Okada was like, yeah, so anyway. It's just funny. If I find it, I'll send you guys. It just had me dying laughing, because it was like, wow, they really got beat up in this match. But, yeah, like I said, I could be wrong. I don't care. Down with the Empire. They betray chaos. So next up, the main event for night 1 is a huge match, which could have God, so many implications. It is the IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental Championships on the line. The double champion, Tetsuya Naito, versus who should be the rightful certificates owner. That's a whole another bag of fish. But the winner of the G1 Climax 30, Kota Ibushi. And damn it. I hate to say this because I hate going against Naito, but I gotta think Ibushi's winning this one.
Mhm.
I feel like of everyone who has made the most of all this crap going on in the world. Well, actually, Naito has too, but Kota Ibushi's been right up there with his star rising throughout all New Japan, and that G1 Climax match with him and Sonata is still probably one of my favorite matches I've ever seen, period. Not just of last year, but just period, because every single near fall you believed, especially when Sonata hit that moonsault and Ibushi kicked out. So I'm picking Ibushi because of the amazing year he's had, and I think Naito is one of the guys who doesn't need the belt anymore. He's cemented his legacy. He's going down as one of the greatest of all time, regardless. Mike, who you got?
Same, actually. I'm going to go with Ibushi. I feel like the last couple years we've been like, this is his year, this is his moment, and it's not quite hit there. So I mean, double championship with a chance to go to night 2 to face Jay White. I think you got to go with Ibushi.
Yeah. All right, JC, what you got?
You got to go Ibushi. Made a run with the G1, which that's 2 years in a row for him, right? Didn't he win it twice? Yeah. And I'm sorry, but yes, it was 2020. But Naito, you had your moment in the sun last year. Whether Kenta screwed that up for you, that's your fault. So Ibushi, he's been on a freaking tear. Run through the G1 right now, and I'm going with Ibushi on this. I'm sure of that. As far as if he beats Jay White, I still don't know. I might have to ask Siri about that later, so we'll see when we get to that pick. So,
see, my thing is with Naito, I think he's going to be back in the main event of Wrestle Kingdom someday, but it's going to be against Okada again because of how that happened last time. Because I keep thinking about last year when he said to Okada, "Hey man, it does feel good to win the main event of the G1," and Okada was like laying on the ground like, "You son of a bitch." So I just think that when they both get to the main event again, it'll probably be against each other, unless Tanahashi and Okada do it again, which wouldn't surprise me either because of the three big guys in New Japan right now, it's Tanahashi, Okada, and Naito. Of course, the next one's coming up will probably be Ospreay, Ibushi, and White, which I'm also okay with. So, yeah.
JC, real quick, when we get to that last match, if you have to flip a coin, Ibushi has heads because he falls on his neck all the time, and Jay White has tails. I mean, I don't have a really good one why he's tails.
I mean, Ibushi was going to be heads anyway because you've been listed first on this thing. But yeah, I guess that does make sense. So I know.
Wow. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into night 2. Jeez.
Happy New Year, everybody.
New Year. Okay, Wrestle Kingdom night 2. Before we get into the matches, I don't know if you guys heard, but Stardom will have another dark match on the show. Actually, they're going to have 2. It's going to be the Queen's Quest versus Donna Del Mondo in one match, and then Mayu Iwatani and Tam Nakano versus Sayuri and Julia of Donna Del Mondo in the second. One reason why this is such a big deal is because Donna Del Mondo has become such a monster stable in Stardom that they're getting 2 matches at Wrestle Kingdom. When before, I think it was just Julia last year when may she rest in peace forever, Hana Kimura was her tag team partner. So it's really going to be interesting to see. I wish they were going to be. I don't know if they'll be available in New Japan World. They'll probably be available in Stardom World, which I still don't have yet. I want to get that someday. But
if they're on New Japan World, do they show the dark matches like later or?
I don't think so. I think this is strictly for Stardom World. So I'm gonna keep my ears up for that. If I hear more, I'll let you guys know. But so far it's good. It's just gonna be on. If anything, it'll just be on Stardom World, which I do also recommend getting because when the clips of the matches I do see are pretty fantastic, and they had a really good year-end show a couple couple of days ago. With, by the way, a bit of a spoiler, B. Presley, member of the Empire, actually won the tag team titles with Konami of Oedo Tai. So, yeah, that was pretty cool. But moving on to the main card, for the provisional KOPW 2021 trophy, it's going to be a four-way match with the participants decided on night one in a dark match of a 20-man. I think it was 20.
22.
Yeah, it's 22. Thank you. 22 New Japan Rumble. Since we can't really pick on this, like as far as like counting towards us, I wanted to know if you guys just want to pick your four and pick a winner, or did you just want to just pick a winner?
I think it's worth mentioning. I don't know if we can pick our winner because I don't even know who's going to be in it. I mean, I don't know if I can go either way.
I was going to pick Henderson.
You what?
I was going to pick Henderson.
Oh, okay.
I think he's got a bright future.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Okay.
He's totally going to win.
JC, just edit in some name of a wrestler from
Ben DiNucci. Yeah.
Well, he's surely not doing anything else right now. So
yeah.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
So let's just say the match is going to happen, and whoever's in it, good luck to you.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know. I'm not sure they're going to have the stipulations for this, or it's just going to be the four-way match, and then they'll just decide that day. So who knows? So we'll just leave that one as it is.
Cool.
But moving on to the rest of the card, we're starting off with the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship of Suzuki-gun, consisting of El Desperado, who recently lost his mask, by the way, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru versus the team of 1R8, Ryusuke Taguchi, and Master Wato. I'll go first on this one. I'm going to pick Suzuki-gun, and here's why. Of everyone who may have been the dark horse, like, superstars of last year in New Japan, Suzuki-gun showed out. First with Dangerous Tekkers, with Tai Chi and Zack Sabre Jr., especially when Tai Chi, I think he even pinned Suzuki in the G1 Climax, which shocked the hell out of me. And Desperado made it all the way to the finals of the Best of the Super Juniors, which he was impressive. I was not the biggest Desperado fan, and I fully admit that, but he absolutely made a believer out of me in the Best of Super Juniors tournament. He damn it, he may be starting to make his way one of my favorite wrestlers ever because he really showed out. And I don't think they want to stop that train just yet, especially because I think Taguchi and Wato need a little bit more time as a team. Kanemaru and Despy have been tearing it up, and so I think they're going to retain this time. JC, what about you?
Suzuki-gun. I was sticking with them either way right now. You know, they're established. They're tearing up this tag team division, and I see him holding this for a good while. I can't see anyone taking it from him right now. So Suzuki-gun.
Cool, Mike.
I'm gonna go the same with Suzuki-gun. If it was 1 and 8, I'd feel better because then they'd be 9. But if it's 1 or 8, there's a chance they bring the 1, and you can't win if you bring the 1. They could bring the 8, so there's a chance. But look, guys, what I lack in knowledge, I make up in BS. So I mean, that's what I got.
That's sound logic, though. I'm gonna tell you. Just the funny thing is, if it was aces and eights, that's basically kind of what this team name is kind of built off of. If you think about it, so
but no. Here's what's even worse than that. I can absolutely see Ryusuke Taguchi saying literally word for word what Mike just said in a post-match promo if they lose. I can hear Taguchi saying, "We only brought the 1. We got the 8. That's on me. I forgot the 8. I'm sorry. Wato was the 1 and I was not the 8. I'm sorry."
Master Wato needs to be like, look, make it a conjunction, make it and then you combine them.
They're working up to that. Yeah, they've got to graduate to that level. So
you do not get this kind of New Japan talk anywhere else on any other podcast or wrestling show.
Definitely not in Japan either.
Because they know what they're talking about other than Tommy here.
Yeah.
I am the resident New Japan nerd, and I'm proud of that fact. But
the next one.
Moving on.
Let me go.
The next match.
Come on.
The next match, I'm absolutely letting Mike pick first because I kind of know where he's going to go with this.
It
but
is
the
Jeff
never
Cobb,
openweight
100%. Oh,
yeah, the never openweight championship. Matter of fact, I'm wearing the shirt because this is one of my favorite belts ever. And you know what's? Before we go to that, I get mad at some people who say they don't like this belt. I'm like, first of all, no, you're wrong. Second of all, this has some of the most hardest hitting matches in New Japan. How do you not like this belt? It's a great belt. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents there. Anyway, never openweight championship. Oh, by the way, another reason why I love it, when I wore this shirt, Shibata saw it and he marked out for my shirt. So all you who don't like this belt can suck it. Shibata likes this belt. You all can suck it. You can suck it. Anyway, so we have the championship match. Champion Shingo Takagi versus Jeff Cobb and Mike. Go first because you're picking.
Look, Takagi's not going to have to worry about quarantining for 14 days. Jeff Cobb's going to take him on a tour of the islands, and he's going to become the champ. Calling it here. That's right.
JC, you go next.
This potentially, because I'm unsure of the last one. I got to go with the Gaijin to get something here, and for this reason, I got to go with Cobb. He's primed for that. I mean, we said it for a couple of years now. New Japan fits him. He fits New Japan perfectly, and give him a run with this belt, and let him defend it successfully for crying out loud. This belt changes hands so many damn times. So,
it does. It does. I will give you that.
Yeah. So I got to go Cobb.
He could be one of the guys who holds it the longest, though. Actually. I'm also picking Jeff Cobb, so clean sweep on that one. But honestly, this is one of the 2 matches I think has the potential to steal the show. Because Shingo is so good, and I don't think people know how good he is, and I don't think, and conversely, I don't think some fans don't know how good Jeff Cobb is, and I think they're both going to prove that they're way better than some people think they are. So I'm going Jeff Cobb as well, and I just predict this might be the match that just steals the show, and like it has everyone talking, and again points out how worthwhile the never openweight belt is. So again, people who don't like the belt, suck it. Anyway, moving on. To the other only non-title match on the whole card and the only one on night 2 so far. This one's personal. This one is super personal. It is a battle of former LIJ members with LIJ's Sonata versus now co-leader of the Bullet Club, Evil. So they keep and that's another thing with this match. They keep teasing who's the actual leader. Like, they keep saying it's Evil. They keep saying it's Jay White, and Tama Tonga will not outright say who he thinks the leader is, which makes me worry. So, this match is gonna be. This is the other match I think might steal the show because it's super personal between these 2. So I think it might get super heated at some point, and of course Dick Togo's there. With that being said, unfortunately, as much as I love Sonata and as much as I believe he's due, I gotta kind of think Evil's taking this one. JC, what do you think?
You know, your word of the day was betrayal.
Yeah,
the whole ordeal last year. You know, when that happened. So yeah, I'm with you, Evil. Even if it's the whole who's the real leader of Bullet Club, if it's Evil, if it's Jay White, if it's Thomas, I mean, they still need to figure that out.
Yeah.
And on some level, there's going to be a Bullet Club Wolfpack, red and black of the Bullet Club Wolfpack or something. They'll do that. But I don't know.
If they do that, by the way, I'm buying that shirt immediately, and then no one can stop me. So.
But yeah, I got to go Evil here. Had probably the biggest, if not the biggest heel turn in New Japan last year, and they keep running with that. So,
man. Did you see the heartbroken fans? Did you ever see like some of the pictures after? There was a picture of a little kid, like the before it happened and then immediately after. And that kid was like, I was like, that child will never forget this for the rest of their life.
That sounds like it's up there with Angry Miz Girl. So I definitely got to go Evil with that.
It absolutely is. Yeah. Mike,
I think I'm going to go with Evil too. I think it might be something along the lines where it looks like Sonata's about to pick up the win, and then Bullet Club gets involved and wins by shenanigans to kind of keep up the treachery of It looks like Sonata's about to get justice, and then it gets taken away from him.
Yep.
Yeah. With Dick Togo being on Evil's side more likely, so there more likely will be shenanigans unless he gets thrown out. But then again, it's Bullet Club. They have like 45 members, so anyone could potentially run in. Hell, Adam Cole could probably still run in for no reason. Super kick.
Isn't he dead
Screw
in the
your
Bullet Club?
quarantine. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know what? You're right. He is dead. They poisoned his drink on being the elite. You're absolutely right. I forgot about that.
That's true.
Poor Apple. I miss him every day. Anyway, moving on. Next match, IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match. And here's what's funny about this match. No matter who wins the night before, I am absolutely looking forward to this match. I don't care who the winner of the match is. It's Taiji Ishimori defending against either Takahashi or Phantasmo from night one. I'll go first. Since I'm picking Takahashi to win night one, I'm actually picking him to take the belt from Taiji in this match as well. So I'm going Takahashi to win both nights. Mike, who you got?
So mine would be Ishimori versus Phantasmo, but
Right.
I think I'm going to go with Ishimori to retain.
Okay.
I don't have any strong reasons why, honestly, but I think that the winner, in my case, would be Phantasmo, was going to put on a good show, but not quite get to the top there. So
yeah. Phantasmo's a great talent, though. You're right. It'll be a great match either way. But yeah, I see your point. JC, who you got?
Ishimori's too strong to beat on a back-to-back. He's going to be well rested. Phantasmo and Takahashi are going to just basically beat the crap out of each other night one. And if you want to take the belt off Ishimori, you need to be well rested.
Yeah, there's no load management at Wrestle Kingdom, man.
No, there's not.
You're right. You're right.
There's no sitting night two of the back.
Yeah, I mean it's night one, and then 24 hours later, here's night two. Let's do it. So yeah, I got to say this is staying on Ishimori. So
yeah.
There's
an old tag team match in Noah with Kenta, and I think it's Ishimori against Naomichi Marufuji and someone else, and it's one of the greatest tag team matches you'll ever see. If I can ever get that to you guys, I'll send it to you. It is a fantastic match to watch. It's about like 20 minutes of pure intensity, and it's just so great. So yeah. And I'm still hoping that this is night two. I'm still hoping that Moxley will show up and we'll get that U.S. title match. Anyway, so, and last but certainly not least, we have the main event of night two to close out the whole show. The winner of Naito versus Ibushi defending the double championships against the certificate holder, and I cannot use the biggest air quotes for that, Jay White. And I'll go first because if Ibushi wins night one, I don't care. I'm picking Ibushi to win night two as well. Because I know what we just said about Ishimori, but I think if anyone can pull out a come from behind victory after winning the big one, it'll be Ibushi. So I'm picking Ibushi to win both to win against Jay White. Wow, that would not come out of my mouth for some reason. Anyway, so JC, I think you're still struggling with this one, so I'll ask Mike first. Who you got?
Yeah.
You know what? I just had a thought. Was Kenny at the tribute show on Wednesday either? Omega? I don't think I remember seeing him.
No.
Oh, no, I did. He had his mask on. No, wait. I think he was.
Oh, you know what?
I think he was, and I think he was at Impact the night before, too.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So, yeah.
I was thinking, okay, so I'm going to pick Ibushi to win and come out with both titles at the end of both nights. And I know they've always had a history, and I know Omega's trying to get back to do some more New Japan, so I thought it would be an interesting thing to have him there. But I think he was present this past week, actually. So, but I'm going to pick Ibushi to win it all on night two and finally have his moment.
Yeah. Okay. JC, you finally you got.
I'm not gonna need Siri on this one. That much I know. The more I've thought about this, and the fact that you threw the air quote thing on Jay White. With the kind of year that they have had in New Japan, I don't think they would let the show go off the air with the Gaijin holding a title. So I got to go with Ibushi. I got to go with Ibushi, especially on the tear that he's had with the G1. I said it. Last year was Naito's time to shine. This is Ibushi's time to shine.
Yeah.
And, this for everything that's going on, I think it would do well for the Japanese crowd to see one of their own who has earned it holding both championships. My question is, at what point do they separate the titles? That's what I want to know. Because are they merge them or what? No,
I think honestly that was going to happen this past year until everything just went crazy. So I think probably coming up this year, at some point they'll separate them. Is my honest feeling that they'll separate them at some point this year, because I think both titles are still prestigious enough to have them separate. So I think they're gonna, if they don't merge them, which I really doubt they do. I doubt that they'll do. They're gonna separate them this coming year. I just think that they probably. My thing is, I think they wanted more of a story to separate them than just have it randomly, and that probably would have been the start of it. You know, for all I know, Evil could have betrayed Bullet Club, could have been the plan all along. I just feel like sometimes, like, because of everything that's going on, they needed a new supervillain, and well, the guy's name is Evil. So
and I wouldn't be surprised if Jay White loses this night and comes back in New Year's Dash and says, well, that was just my certificate for the heavyweight. Now I'm challenging for the IC at New Year's Dash, and say, okay, then he'll win the title that way. So, there's a chance they separate that.
If could reword that contract, Gato's right next to him. He'd figure it out. No. He only got pinned for heavyweight belt.
Yeah.
Only for Do you ever hear Gato yell in English? It's hilarious because he's such a jerk. He sounds like more of a jerk in English than he does in Japanese. It's so amazing. I will say the other reason
I wouldn't put it past him to do that with Jay White. I
me either. Yeah. I will admit the other reason I'm picking Ibushi to win it for both nights is because he lost both nights last year. So and it was just like, wow, that was kind of depressing to see him lose like that. So that's why I'm picking it this year. So we'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah.
So that is our picks for Wrestle Kingdom. You guys let us know in the comments what you think, and then of course watch Wrestle Kingdom, find out how right and or wrong we are. That'll be fun. But now let's get into some sad news. Of course, unfortunately, given last year, this is kind of repetitive to say that phrase, as depressing as that is. But the passing of Mr. Brodie Lee, aka the Exalted One, aka Luke Harper, and of course, renamed Jon Huber. What can we say that possibly has not been said literally everywhere? Like,
I mean, first of all, that tribute show AEW pulled is one of the best ones I've ever seen. And I still remember Raw as Owen when that happened. I still remember watching that. You know, that's never going to leave my brain. But this was really the first time AEW had to break character, get sentimental, and that was tough. But they pushed through. Love seeing Lance Archer wearing the Luke Harper style gear. That was really cool. Yeah. And just the fact that his family was there. All anybody has ever said is how great of a father he was. He loved his kids. And as a father myself, and I'm only like 2 years younger than he was, which is insane. You can't imagine what his kids are going through. But props to AEW for what they put together. I know Impact sent a message. WWE had a small tribute. But, I mean, AEW just put together an amazing show for a great wrestler. And it sucks because his career was just taking off.
It was
taking off, and then this happens. It's insane. It's so insane. Yeah. So
yeah, I think what I want to focus on, especially after the year we've had, is how it literally united an entire, not company, an entire sport.
Yeah.
I mean, people from every company, from every indie, from everywhere, like not one bad thing to say about this man. And I think it seemed like Vince was, obviously not, was lenient on letting them, express themselves and share things and kind of interact with their friends from the other companies online and stuff.
Even on Raw Talk, because the New Day made mention of it too. Yeah. On Raw Talk, Xavier Woods especially. So, go ahead.
So I just
did that discus clothesline on Raw too.
Yeah. So I mean, that's just the silver lining I find is it's honestly not many things that bring an entire the wrestling world together like this, and it's interesting because he was becoming a bigger star, but he wasn't Rock or Cena or even Omega really, but there's this kind of indie generation is what I think of it in my head of these guys that just spent the last 10, 15 years going through all these different indies, through PWG, through Mid-South, through all these things that are just connected because of that. And now they're in the WWE and AEW, and so there's a real connectedness. I mean, Cabana was crushed. It was so hard for him to get started in that first match. John Silver, who's I think about to really become a big star on his own, and then kind of being connected to this. I mean, once you finish that match, and I thought it was really cool. I commented in the thing before the show started in our little group chat. I was like, that'd be really cool if they brought Rowan into the Dark Order. Not really sure if they would do that, but when he showed up and then had that sign, oh man, that was super awesome.
That's what hit me the hardest. That sign was just great, and I remember when you typed that, and then when he showed up, my family could tell I was at my parents. I was watching it, and I screamed, "It's Rowan!" I was so happy to see him.
I did too. Call him like Eric Red or something. Is that the name?
Jericho didn't care. Jericho was like,
Jericho did not care at all.
And Excalibur was like, Redbeard.
I hope that's they signed the contract and let him carry on what his tag team partner did. I don't know how good if he had as good a charisma as Brodie Lee did, but still they got something there. It was his partner, and God, I know we would talk about losing like someone that's there with you, but as your tag team partner, the guy you went to battle with, Bludgeon Brothers, Wyatt family roots, that's tough because and even I think the message that made me cry the most was Bray putting on Instagram about how this wasn't supposed to be this way. We were supposed to be working at gyms and bingo halls in our 70s doing the old tired gimmick. And my thought is like, I could be 80, 90 years old and watching that shit. I'd love it, because my kids would be like, what is this? But God, it is that's what hurts the most is that you never get that opportunity. So
I will give one thing about the tribute show that I loved was the props to the heels who had the toughest job that night of still being heels no matter what was going on, like Team Taz, Inner Circle, Eddie Kingston and the family. I think they all did a great job of staying heels while respectful. MJF especially might have gone over and above the Call of Duty.
Okay, did you see his Twitter?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Let me tell y'all. So you saw that spot, Brodie Lee Jr. hitting him with the candlestick, all that. The next day, I'm sitting here in the office. I'm working on something. I'm doing work. Tina comes in next to me because we're gonna have lunch here, and she starts cracking up looking at her. I was like, "What?" MJF just tweeted, "F this kid." I'm just like dying. I'm just like, wow.
That guy would like smack talk in the face of a bunch of guys holding guns just to keep in kayfabe. I believe at this point he would injure himself just to keep his gimmick up and put his life like.
But he's the only guy that can get away with that.
He could using the gun scenario. He would get shot in the leg, and then from the hospital tweet out, "Bastards missed my heart."
It's just a flesh wound. It's just a flesh.
Yeah. But I love the fact how well he sold that kendo stick shot. I just he looked like he got smacked so hard with that thing. And I loved it. And that was the best part of the night was the smile on his face the entire night. It was like, yeah, this kid's probably going through. I can't even imagine what he's going through. I'm 32, and I can't imagine losing my dad. And but they kept him smiling and laughing all night, and Orange Cassidy.
He's never going to forget that. Never.
Have you seen the videos coming out online of him basically beating up the entire roster backstage?
Yeah. Because they had some parties. Even Adam Cole was there, and he even gave him a discus clothesline. Yeah. And Adam Cole, to his credit, got down on his knees to take the move all the way. I was like, and of course, my immediate first thought was, okay, so Adam Cole deserves another world title run. I just can't figure out a way. This reason this guy shouldn't get one now. So
yeah.
But as tragic as it was, like we said, how it brought everyone together is amazing to me. You've seen all these tributes. I'll say one that got me was Bryce Rumsberg, because of all their time in Chikara together, and to hear Rumsberg talk about it really, because I met Bryce Rumsberg a couple times when he came to Inspire Pro, and he's a super nice guy. And to just see him just break down like that, I get why he's so sad, and I understand it. It's just like, just watching that, I was like, oh man, that's just so hard to watch. And it's like, that's just the community that pro wrestling has built up, and I'm glad to see it all come together. Someone made the mention that they haven't seen a tribute like or heard someone talk about this well since Eddie Guerrero passed, and I was like, that's actually pretty true. Yeah. I think I would also submit, like, another guy that came close to me lately was Shad Gaspard, because when he passed, you couldn't find one thing about him, negative to say. I will say, to shift gears a little bit on that, to the dude on PW Torch, who I heard got fired, thank God, who wrote that article about the cover up, go to hell, you, buddy, because just go to hell, just go all the way down to hell, to the 9th level, in fact, but because. That's horrible. I didn't
hear about the article, but judging by your reaction, I don't know if I want to read it. So I give it the time of day.
Yeah, it's probably don't even waste your time on it.
Don't waste your time. It was so bad that Brodie's wife had to come out with saying, like, he was sick and we kept it private, which of course is her business and their business. And this goes back to the entitlement thing that we've all said before. We don't deserve to know anything. We have no right to know about these people's private lives. If Brodie and his family wanted to keep his condition quiet, guess what? That's their right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and that's all we have to say about it. It's just their right. They want to keep it quiet, they can keep it quiet. Who cares?
We gave the same privacy and honor to Chadwick Boseman and what he was going through. Yeah. You got to do the same thing for Brodie Lee. That's a family matter.
It's a family matter. It's in house, and I know people have like their quote unquote reasoning, and I again quote unquote, but no, just because they're a public figure doesn't mean we get to know their private lives. It's like when any other celebrity kind of someone, like, I won't even say scandal. It's like when you hear something about someone's private life. Well, that's their private life. They're not bothering anyone. It's what they like to do. It's not a crime. It's not illegal. It's their private business. Brodie wasn't, it wasn't COVID. And even if it was, again, none of our business. If everyone followed safety protocols and, everyone was safe, then okay, he caught it. It sucks. But that wasn't it. He was sick for another reason. It sucks that he passed away, but that's not our business to know exactly every detail. So, yeah, but don't look for the article. It's a waste of time.
Yeah, wrestling journalists don't need to pretend like they're Woodward and Bernstein. So,
yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, I was going to say the biggest props was the fact that that TNT Championship belt's not even half a year old, and they've already retired it. That design. Handed it to Brodie Lee Jr. Said, "You keeping this?" They're going to come up with a new design for Darby Allin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
speaking of Darby Allin, super props to him. Because he's like, because I'm sure he was just like, yeah, do that. I don't care. Give me another belt. I can wear a leather strap and still be champion. Mm-hmm. Props to him for just being that gracious to just let that happen. He probably just, like I said, didn't care. His tribute video is also really cool. But also, when he came out to confront Team Taz, I noticed he had Brodie Lee written all over his face paint. And that was the only thing on his face paint. And I love that kind of respect of all the things he could do that day. I think one of the things that he did that was so respectful, just writing Brodie Lee's name all on his face paint. And everyone had their Brodie Lee armbands, which is great, and everything. And I'm not saying anyone didn't try to show him that respect. It was really cool to see him do that. And I think they said that physical belt is just going to stay with the family. And
yes,
sweet.
I think they've already signed Brodie Lee Jr. to a contract.
Yeah, they said as soon as and here's another thing: is like some idiots were like, "Well, AEW won't be around that long." Yeah, y'all said it wouldn't be around a year. You were wrong about that too. So in 10 years, when -1 is the exalted one, I want everyone to shut up.
Long-term booking.
Long-term, definitely long-term, and. With tribute shows like this and everything they pull, there's a reason why they were promotion of the year for our year-end awards, and so definitely.
Well, I mean, it's you're gonna be hard pressed. I mean, this is one of the few times on the internet I have not seen one person complain about this tribute show, and internet can complain, but this was one thing I haven't heard anyone complain about, because you really can't. The show was just so well done, and I also say from a wrestling perspective, this show was like 5-star quality. It was like everyone wanted to put on the match of their career that night. And to me, pretty much everyone hit that mark. I didn't see one match that was not pay-per-view worthy. in my opinion. And I was proud of all of them because I know getting through it could not have been easy. To A, go out there, and B, put on a great match could not have been easy. Probably why they were all tag team matches, honestly. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But, all in all, a sad reason for it, but it was a amazing night. And AEW, Tony Khan, Cody Rhodes, everyone deserves all the props in the world for how they put that together.
Yes, sir.
Yep. So with that, we will go into our 1 minute warning. Does anyone have one today?
I do, but I'll wait for you guys to go first.
I don't think I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, my 1 minute warning would have just been Wrestle Kingdom related. So now that I got to host the show and talk about it the whole night, I'm actually good. So, Jason,
Okay.
What you got?
All right. Well, I'll start my timer right now and just say, lost in all this, I want to offer the biggest congrats in the world to Toru Yano, who finished the year as the king of pro wrestling for 2020 in New Japan. The provision of that belt is you weren't officially the champion unless you held it on December 31st. And guess what?
True.
Toru Yano, probably the most hated man in New Japan, pisses off the most people in the world. Never mind Evil's heel turn. It's the fact that Toru Yano was king of pro wrestling. How awesome and how 2020 was that. So congrats to Toru Yano. And you know what would piss people off even more is if he ends up being king of pro wrestling 2021. So if he comes out winning this battle royal on night 2 or something, go for it. I'm just happy that ended up being that way.
I will say this. That was awesome, and I couldn't believe that he actually managed to keep it. I will say this. If he wins that again next year, I know people who will just cancel their New Japan subscription right away. They will never watch it again. And I hope they don't.
It's like the biggest troll job, and I just love it. New Japan, it shows they have a sense of humor, and I really enjoy that. So
Toru Yano and Ryusuke Taguchi are still on their roster. Oh, they have a sense of humor. There is no way you could not put those two dudes on your roster.
Oh man!
Oh my God! If Taguchi wins it next year and he holds it all year long, that might make people quit too. But yeah, It's just a great little new concept. I could have swore Okada was going to win it first, and when he didn't, I was like, oh my God, did Toru Yano just win this? Oh my God, is Toru Yano still champion? Oh my God, is the year over Toru Yano's champion? How?
Gotta love it. You gotta love it, man.
I hope he makes a new DVD about it and walks to the ring with that as well. All right. Well, guys, that's about all for us. So night 1 and night 2 of Wrestle Kingdom will be exclusively on New Japan World. Night 1 will be starting at 1 a.m. Central Standard Time. Night 2 starting at 2 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'll probably be awake for both.
Night 1 on Monday, night 2 on Tuesday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, night 1 on
Okay,
Monday,
okay.
night 2 on Tuesday. Sorry about that. And both are coming live from the Tokyo Dome in Tokyo, Japan. I will get to that building one day. I'm going to that building one day. Enter the Nippon Budokan. Those are the two buildings in Japan I absolutely want to see pro wrestling in. I just want to so bad. Anyway, like I said, exclusively in New Japan World. It's a monthly rate of $9.99. It's a really good buy. It's because then you get access to their old matches and everything. It's a bit hard to navigate for the English side, but it's still worth it because you get some old classic gems. You can get all of the old Wrestle Kingdoms, which are all fantastic. So yeah, if you want it, check it out. I highly recommend it. It's always great. Of course, our Twitter account is ccg_WrestleCast, and of course, subscribe to the Countdown City Geeks YouTube channel. Click that little bell. Be notified whenever our videos come up. Yeah. And next week, we will have a Wrestle Kingdom recap, and I absolutely swear if any of you but me pulls a Tez, I am going to be so upset about that.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I can't help but think that if Tez was here, he would pull his own Tez, and I would just be like, I would quit the show because I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm sick of this one black dude taking all this. So, but
he'd find a way to go 11. Yeah, he would.
Yeah.
So,
I
will.
Especially if Mike. I won't be able to stand it if Mike pulled it.
I will let everyone know. Thank you, everybody who donated to Tez's GoFundMe for a fundraiser for funeral expenses. The services, we're recording this on a Friday. The services are going to be tomorrow morning on Saturday. So by the time this gets out, it may have already happened. But let's just say we destroyed our goal. Plus $5,000. Tez's mom and family were very appreciative of everybody's help. The GoFundMe is still open for donations, and like I said before, all that money is going to go to Tez's family. So you're still able to go in and donate if you're able to now. Keep sharing and everything, and anytime money comes in, it goes straight to Tez's mom. So thank you everybody for shared, donated, took part in that, put a message on there. It definitely shows just how amazing a person he was, and we really do appreciate it. So thank you everybody.
Absolutely still gonna be missed. So with that being
Definitely.
said, this is Mike.
Mike, be good to each other, guys.
That's JC.
Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys next time.
And I'm Tommy. And remember, heels and baby faces, pro wrestling is real.
People are fake.
Fake. And we out.
Hey yo, subscribe to the channel by clicking right here. Or, if you want to watch more videos, click right here!